right, there we go. Just see if everything locks up, doesn't lock up. Okay. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to get started in just a moment. Going to do the usual quick microphone check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Make sure that everything is operational. Can I get a quick confirmation that you can hear me, that you can see me, and all that good stuff? Just making sure audio is good. Perfect. Okay, so we are going to do a Ask Me Anything. We're going to do recaps. We're going to look. One thing I didn't do, hold on one second. Let's see. Just want to check something for the claiming of the prize. I just want to make sure. Okay, bear with me a second. So while everyone's getting settled in, I want to make sure you got everything you need to clean the prize. Now, let me just check a couple of things. Let me turn off that alert. You hear that in the background because I'm currently making money. That's always a good bloody thing. Let me just see here. Bonus. Just want to get the right bloody link. And copy that. What is that link? Okay. And I'll remember that for later. Good, groovy. And I didn't update the text on that, but that's all good. All right, so we are good to go. What I'm going to do is hit a couple of buttons in the right bloody order and rock this bugger up. Okay, cool. Now, I also need to quickly make someone a co-organizer. Will you, okay, Zoom, will you fuck off? Okay, do that. And, all right. As we say here, Sudyod. All right, cool and groovy. So, like I say, today is an Ask Me Anything session. Now, my wing person, wingman, wing girl, whatever, is not actually bloody here. So you're going to have to ask me the questions. I'm going to do my absolute best to answer them in a competent and cohesive manner. How did my motorcycling go? Well, very kind. Set a personal best, not as fast as I wanted, but I did set a personal best. Around here, I would say a good lap time is in the 150s, but I'm still learning, full disclosure. So I got 210 was my fastest time today, but it's a new bike, not a bike I've never ridden before this weekend. Even though I bought it, I never got to test ride it because it's a track bike. So this is the first time I took it out on the track. And I think the guy who owned it before me is quite a bit shorter than me. So the pegs, where you put your feet and everything else, and you're changing gear and you're braking everything else, they're a little bit high and forward. So my knees are tucked up where I'm a big guy, okay? I'm a little bit tubby, but also I've been working out at the gym, so I'm a lot, I've put on, I want to say 18 pounds of muscle in the last few months. So raising it was a little tight, compression was a little tight, and the position of the pegs is a little high and forward. I'm just like, this ain't fucking comfortable. Tried different things and everything else, but yeah, it was a bit fucking uncomfortable. But did set a personal best, so I can't complain at that. Did 150 miles an hour on the straight, which again is then you got to break into a tight hairpin. So yeah, it's been an interesting bloody day. Couple of unintentional wheelies, couple of back brake lockups, heading into corners. So yeah, it's been an adventurous fucking day. Let's leave it at that. All right, anyway, we are here to do questions and answers. So here's the thing. We still do have seats open. So you can go to, and I'll put the link in here. Basically, I told my team, hey, I'm opening up a few more seats because we've had people emailing me and saying, hey, can I get in today? Can I wait? And everything else. So I want to do, okay, I'll put the link there. Okay. So I'm going to do as many questions as I can. I'm going to take about an hour. We'll do a recap of strategies. I'll show you a couple of things if I can, to expand on points or any sticking points. We'll do a recap of them. Strategy, we'll do, I'll try and answer, again, not financial advice. Someone's asking here about spread betting. I can't give financial advice and all the rest of it, yada, 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 disclaimers. I'll try and answer as best I can. Okay, so, Sean, how do we execute the real order outside of paper trading? If you practice inside the paper trading in TradingView, it's almost the same on every platform. Every platform has a different execution. Okay, I'm just thinking, can I log into one of my demo accounts on KuCoin or something like that? Not really, because I got a lot of live funds in there and I don't like showing my private shit. But basically it's the same thing. Position, it'll ask you, do you want to stop loss or target? So if you practice by connecting up the paper trading inside TradingView, that skill is like placing a trade. You're just doing it virtually. Some exchanges you can connect directly to TradingView, some you can't. Okay, so what I always do, and okay, my cell phone's over there. I install whatever exchange I'm using. I use the mobile app, and there's tutorials on every single exchange and their specific nuances. Okay, so I always trade on my phone. I have the desktop apps and websites and everything else, but I primarily do it on my phone because I might be at the track, I might be up in the mountain somewhere, but that way I've got everything with me. So if you practice on TradingView, it's the same process. You've just got to find where the buttons are and everything else on the different platforms. Obviously, I can't do it. If I show you on one platform, well, you'd be like, well, what about this platform and this platform? We go into a never-ending loop of platforms, and I ain't doing that. That's a complete waste of bollocks, okay? So if you practice with the paper trading system in TradingView, it's just like placing a real trade. When you go to your actual exchange, then, again, everything's just located in a different place. Find the videos and the tutorials on how to trade from that platform. You're good to go. It's as simple as that. All right. Now, like I said, I'm doing this a little bit solo amigo here. Let me just see. Oh, no. Okay. Tam is here. Okay, good. That's going to help me because then I can concentrate on doing the shit I need to do. All right, cool. What about Alice? All right, let me give you the quick overview of Alice. Now, okay, here's what I'm going to do. You've prompted me to do something pretty cool. Okay, so I introduced the concept of Alice when we did our last masterclass, which was March. And since March, I've been building this platform to execute everything I do. In fact, let me share my screen real quick. I'll show you the bugger in action. Well, I can't show you it in action. I can show you the results because it's in the cloud doing its thing. There's nothing to show. However, do have an active trade right now. This is the 4 candles. So bear with me. This is where it was created from, primarily for this particular strategy, which is doing very well at the moment. In fact, if I come over here, Alice is currently making me $3,876 today. Okay. Now, Alice is an AI which takes my strategies and executes them. Now, we did it primarily for this, which is stock and options, but my development crew is currently integrating different crypto exchanges so we can then execute crypto trades in the same way. So right now, yeah, this is just for the day. $3,838. And by the time we're done, should be about $4,200 at the end of the day, just on this one trade. Okay. And it's executing based on what we're saying right here. We are going to be integrating it to do this. Now, there's some nuances to that, execution and problems, but basically it's a platform which is a SaaS platform. So you create, what you would do would be create an account, set up, connect your exchanges, say which strategies you want, and then configure them for your specific purpose and needs and percentage of risk and yada, yada, yada. And then basically press a button, turn it on, and it will go do all the work. Now, that being said, like I said, I built this primarily for me, but I decided, okay, what if we let other people have access to it? Now, it's going to be based on the amount of capital you put in and everything else. So it's kind of scales up. If you're putting in $1 million, you're going to pay more than someone who's putting in a couple of $100, okay, obviously. But what I will do is for anyone who signs up to the masterclass as a unannounced bonus, I will give you 50% off the subscription for that when we're ready. Now, just about, I know I'm doing my trip to the UK, but we're just about to move into beta, okay? Which means, yes, I've got some people I've already chosen to be beta testers, but from this group as well, when we open up the crypto side, and we don't know when that's going to be yet. Don't get me wrong. It's not like, hey, we're going to do this, it's going to be next week. No, this has taken months to build because this is probably the most powerful fucking thing I've ever built. But I will give people who sign up the chance possibly to be a beta tester, and we'll have some qualification criteria for that. So you basically get first crack of it. However, what I will do is for everyone who does sign up, if you are interested, I will give you a 50% discount when we go live. And there will be a trial period so you can put it to use. We're trying to figure out a way to do paper trading on it as well. There's all sorts of things we're building into this. It's probably, honestly, this is probably the scariest, biggest thing I've ever created. But it's, like I said, I build shit for me first, and then, you know, when it's working, which it is, then great, I'll go do something else with it. All right, with that being said, Tam, do me a favor, fire questions at me because I've only got one monitor and it's a little hard to keep flicking back and forth. And don't even know she's paying attention. All right, then I will try and do it my bloody self. All right, let's see here. Okay, chat. How do you make, one thing that I do want to ask. So a couple of people asked me a question in the Facebook group. You know, if you're averaging 18 to 20%, but you're doing these 1.5 or even 800% moves, what's going on? There's a disparity between, shouldn't I be making a lot more than 20% per month versus if I'm doing this and I'm doing crazy, there's a disparity there. Here's the thing. I'm usually not trading that much or this actively. The last month prepping for the masterclass, I've been a lot more active because I'm demonstrating this to you. I'm usually, and like I've said many times through this, I usually trade on the 4-hour time frame, smaller percentage, and I'm a lot more passive. Why? Because, well, I'm trading bigger amounts than most people for a start, and I don't want to go crazy, and I don't want to be that active. I've been more active in the last, like I said, month. And when you're more active, the more money you make. But I like the balance between consistent passive revenue and not a lot of time. So that's it. Do you ever trade meme coins? Yes, absolutely. That's part of our microcap program. I'll be doing that masterclass October, maybe. I haven't scheduled it up yet. But yeah, we do. That's part of. I talk about the three, triangle, or the 3 points of the triangle: stock and options, Rebel crypto, which is what we're doing here, and then microcaps over here. So yeah, I do that as well. Okay, Renee, if you haven't renewed, contact support@tradecanyon.com and we'll try and take care of you. Okay, let's see. Tam, are you there? Are you microphoned? I'm trying to give you a chance, otherwise I end up doing it. Okay. Okay, so if you could unmute yourself, feed me some questions because it's going to make my life a lot easier if you can.
Well, the first one, unless you want to handle it afterward, is the review of setting the bar, the green and red bar and where you set it and walking through the whole, lining things up with the ratio
All right,
between green and the red.
let me take this trade that we did right here.
Okay.
All right, so now this doesn't matter if it's a dip or you're using the the system I gave you or the advanced on it. The process is the same. So take the long tool, long position. Now in this case, I'll say I'm taking this signal here, which I got my little up arrow that's telling me, hey, dip has confirmed. So that's, if I get that and I'm stuck trading on exactly that bar, then I'll take my stop and I look for the previous low. Now, if I want to be aggressive, I could take this one here, which is this is the previous low. Some people have been doing whatever the trigger bar is, they're doing the low of that. That's not necessarily the right place. You want to look left. This is why we like to have data on script. We look left. And in this case, I'm going to take this low here. You can see it went up, down, and that's the low there. So I always, you set the stop first. By the way, I actually have, for everyone, a little cheat sheet that I put together. Some people were asking if I could. So I've got a little cheat sheet there for you that goes through everything, okay? It describes it. But yeah, so once I set the stop, then I look at my risk to reward ratio. I start off at 1.5. And then if it blasts past that, goes up until it doesn't anymore. So here's the thing. I'm going to give you a little bonus tip, because someone was asking me, how do you decide when it's going to go above and when you extend it? So here's what I do. A little extra tip, if you will. First, I will set as close as I can with a shitty mouse I'm using right now. I will set a trend line at 1.5. Okay. This is a little extra thing. I taught this to students recently. Then I'll take it to 2 and I'll create another line. Then I'll go to 2.5, whatever that may be. It works out to be about the same distance, okay? And then I'll take that, I'll move it to 3. Now, I usually don't go past 3 because otherwise I end up with lots of friggin' lines. Oops, nah. So here's what I do. I actually set my take profit when I do a trade at 3. Now, why? Because what happens is I will have my risk to reward ratio, but then if it hits 1.5 and it looks like it's going to go past it, well, all I do is wait and see. And then I'll set an alert on this bar. Now it's already set at 3, but I can see, is it approaching? Is it approaching? Is it approaching? Oh, it hit my 3, it went above, and then it pulled away. All right, and then I'll close my trade. Or if it goes up, it comes down to 2.5, I close my trade. Or if it hovers around 1.5 and it looks like it's puttering out, I close my trade. So basically, excuse me, sneezing. Basically, my take profit is virtualized. I know because I'm setting these lines up what I want to do and where it can go, but I'll set it at 3. Now it might shoot past that. And guess what? If it's heading very quickly up in the direction, I'll take my take profit and extend it, and I'll put more lines on. But that allows me to manage my trade and then determine if it's going to extend or not. Okay, so a little extra sidebar. Is that useful? Is that pretty cool little trick to then decide, okay, I'm not going to get, it hits 1.5 and then my trade closes. I get a chance to see where it moves to. Okay, so that's a useful little thing, and again allows you to cap in more profit. But if I started off with that, I'd have lost everyone in confusion. So pretty much 1.5, most of the time you're going to hit that pretty quick. And hey, 150% profit, I'm not going to complain about that per trade. So all right, anyway, shoot, give me another one.
Okay, on the back of that, the question was, when you show us the charts, there's some other indicators larger than those we already received that has a blue intermediate indication. Is that Alice or something else? I think they mean the blue triangles, maybe? Or
Okay,
no,
you're talking about
blue
this,
sideways.
the blue zone? Okay, so yeah, the blue, okay, so acronym, when you're using this tool, if it's green, go. If it's not, stop. That's lazy trading 101. If it's green, go. If it's blue, there's nothing to do. And if it's red, it's dead, move on. Okay, I put that little acronym together, or little phraseology to remember. But basically, blue is usually a transition period. So if you look at, for example, on this one, and I'll just reset chart and then zoom out. There we go. So you can see this period here, it was red and it was very rapidly moving. We had a cluster at the bottom here and a turnaround. So that was a good indication that possibly something else is going on, which it did. And we had this great big green zone. But this was going from red, and you see the point where it's transitioning. Everything is moving in the right direction. We've got our DMA that's green, but everything is passing through. So a blue is usually a good indication, and I use it as a buffer. If it comes out the other side, then it's quite likely that that's now confirmed. We're in a confirmed green trend. Now, there's things that can happen before it, like all this stuff that we see here, but the blue is usually a transitionary period. So here we've got a red again going to blue, and you can see it's kind of hovering sideways. It's just dicking around inside the money flow, but then it starts up. Now, it did dip again, and it's looking like it may have changed its mind and changed its tune, but it pulled back out. So it's usually a hesitant period or a transitionary period. So that's what the blue indicates. And I'm glad you asked that, because I didn't go into that in a lot of detail. But yeah, that's, again, for those who are, first of all, joining, and again, if you could put, every now and then, Tam, if you could put the
Sure.
link in, rctjoin.com/start. If you go and sign up I want to say next week, I'll probably do a couple of live sessions going through several very specific strategies using this. There's about 8 strategies using this. And again, someone asked, what's the accuracy rate or the win rate of the indicator? It's not, okay, this is not going to be a soapbox moment, but it might well bloody well be. An indicator is nothing more than an indication or an analysis of the data you're looking at. Every indicator is taking data, working with it to present it. So there's no win rate per se, because there's lots of strategies built on the analysis. Even though it's using machine learning, everything, and real world AI, the end of the day is what you do with it that determines the win rate, the success rate, your ability to execute, what the environment is. There's a whole load of different factors. So, and someone asked, who created this? And did Sean's team develop this? Was it a third-party company? Because how listen, this is all me, baby. I'm actually a developer. I write this stuff because I can't get other people to write this stuff because they don't understand the strategies, even though I try and walk them through it and do all this. No, this is all my code. And I wrote all the libraries, the machine learning stuff. My background, a lot of people don't realize this, and I never talk about it because honestly, it's fucking useless. But my degree is in applied artificial intelligence. Now, all the stuff I learned when I was in university was already outdated when they were teaching us. And that was 25, 26, 27, fucking long time ago. And everything that was there, although I had the base principles and the knowledge of neural networks, fuzzy logic, and, again, machine learning, everything I learned was bullshit back then. It was already out of date. And when you consider what is available now, no. But the fundamental concepts and principles, that's what I work from. Clustering, cluster dynamics, recent relevancies, and all sorts of other stuff. All the nerdy shit that you guys don't need to know about is built into this. Yeah, and so this is all me, baby. There's no developers. This is actually built over. I want to say it's evolved over the last 3 years since I've been able to put this together. And it's, I want to say hundreds, but it's probably close to a couple of thousand hours have gone into this. And again, I built it for me, not you. I made it look better for you, but the core principles and everything in this, designed it for me to help do what I do. So just to answer a couple of questions like that. Anyway, fire another one at me because again, I don't want to get sidetracked. I want to cover as many as possible. So I will try and keep these answers as brief as possible.
Okay. Let's see. The red carpet sales letter mentioned about the Crypto Sniper and Elite membership. Sales letter mentioned about the 10x multiplier method.
Yes.
And the mobile lifestyle accelerator. So maybe cover
those are going to be scheduled next week. Now that when the masterclass is officially over and we've done all of this stuff, I will schedule those next week, and I will do a notice for those sessions. I would say keep an eye out on your email. I will make sure everyone who is in the red carpet gets invited to that, and the same for the inner circles. And what I will do is for the inner circle guys, there's two. I'm going to do those probably back to back in the same session, two trainings in one. So I will figure out my schedule next week. No more motorbikes for Sean for a little bit. It was weird. I actually, when I realized I scheduled the masterclass, I forgot I had trip up to the mountains and then trip to Chang. And then when I was reminded, I'm like, I might not be able to do this. I've got a bloody launch and a masterclass going on, but I managed to figure out a way to make it both work. And well, here we bloody are. But next week and the next weekend, I'm clear. So yeah, we'll schedule that up. All right, next.
Okay, the tool that you gave out that turns all the lines green and gives the wide green bands. I know we gave it out, but we want to cover that and maybe relink it.
Relink it. Well, it's in the resources section.
Okay.
But let me go to TrendFlow demo. Basically, this is the simplified version. Okay, reset. I'm using a Mac fucking
now
mouse and it's driving me crazy. Right. Okay. But at least it isn't the fucking hockey puck. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, and that's more for Tam. She's the queen of Macs, and she's been trying to get me to use the bastards for years, and I hate them. Actually, I like the Macs, but I hate their fucking mouse. Anyway, so there's 3 modes. Default mode, which is what we covered on day 1. And then I added a couple of extra things. Highlight mode, which just shows you when the bars have crossed down and you've got a zone where everything is in alignment. And then you have the directional mode. If everything's going down, then, or if it's changing direction. So yeah, basically, now that's using a little bit of smoothing, one of my smoothing algorithms. But yeah, pretty simple, but you can see very quickly where the 3 moving averages are and find potential new trades. So yeah, all rocking and rolling. That's the basic version. So that's the difference in the different modes. But yeah, you can basically, when you go, if you follow the directions, and I think we talked about that in day 2, go to the page, add it to your favorites, and then what will happen is in your indicators, it will appear in here, and you can do a search for like trend flow. As you can see, I have lots of favorites, including my own stuff. So trend flow simple is the name. Just click on that, add it to your chart. There was someone who was asking, how do you create a new chart? Well, first of all, if you created a brand new account, just go to tradingview.com/chart. That brings up, if you're brand new account, that brings up a brand new chart. If you have existing charts, it's going to bring up also the last chart you used. So you can also come over to here and say, create new layout. Or if you have one, you can save the layout, rename it, call it whatever you like, trend flow or what have you. And then you can have multiples, as I do. I've got so many, it's ridiculous. There goes some, okay, this is going crazy today. That's in 4 freaking candles. 1, 2, 3
Wow.
confirmed signals plus SBR. So basically, I think part of this is because of yesterday's presidential press conference. But yeah, that's 93%. I'm going to give you a quick lesson here, ladies and gentlemen. This is part of what we call a close enough is good enough trade. I've got 4,000 on the dime that could go against me. I'm going to right click. I'm going to take my $4,000, which is 20 positions, and or 20 of those. And I'm going to close that position, full review and send. I'll take my money. Thank you very much. And I'll wait for that to fill. All right, yeah, I'll take my $4,000. That'll be fine. All right, so I forgot what the fuck I was talking about. Okay, so oh yeah, charts and layouts. Yes, so you can create new layouts, bookmark them. Each chart will have its own URL, and that so you can bookmark them, which is what I do up here. And then I have my different layouts, different things I'm studying, different, strategies and development things. So I have them all bookmarked, and I can have them across the top. Just click, 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 open up the chart one, and I'm good to go. This platform, I'm going to say TradingView has done an amazing job. What I will also do, and I'll find it, is I did record a long time ago a TradingView masterclass, because again, if you're new to this and you're still trying to find your feet and your way around shit, it could be a little bit confusing. So I did record a masterclass on that. I will find it if I can before I go to the track tomorrow morning and drop it. I'll upload it to the Facebook group. But as a reminder, Sunday night at midnight, everything closes, everything shuts down. All the doors shut, spaces for the Rebel Crypto program shut, everything shuts down, and we delete the Facebook group. Now, I've been very generous in that I've left all the replays open. They were meant to be only 24 hours, but for the entire week, I've actually said, you know what? But Sunday night at midnight, I press a big motherfucking button and everything goes done, because we're done. All right, so keep that in mind. But tomorrow I'll upload that and you can watch it. Oh, by the way, for those who didn't see, I did send out an email. Trend flow, if I can type. Okay, session 4. I wanted to upload that in HD, so that has its own page. You can go here and again watch the full masterclass. Okay, So I did that yesterday. So the session 4, because this is the most important one, it's all there for you as well. And I'll actually quickly link that in Zoom. Right, come here, you bastard. Right. Right, next question.
Okay, let's see. What are we putting into the afterwards if they sign up for the entire program? Are you putting the stuff for like Inner Circle and Red Carpet, the videos and replays in there? So if they sign up, they'll actually have access afterwards to go back and can't remember if we did
No, I
that.
get asked this on every masterclass. If I do, people complain that, oh, why did I pay for it if you're giving it to me there? And, well, can I get a discount and all that stuff? So here's what I'm going to do. I'll put the main masterclass up as an updated one. The Inner Circle stuff, no. You know, the TEDx Accelerator and all the rest of it, although you'll have that permanently in the Inner Circle group anyway, so hey, that's cool. The extended sessions, I'll decide on that. That's a hard one. I'll decide on that. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day is everything we're doing here, we're expanding upon anyway. This is like the next level. I get that. So fuck it. Yeah, I'll do the Red Carpet extended sessions as well because they're all bolted onto that. The other thing I will do for people who do sign up is, and I did this on my last masterclass. I didn't do it this time, but I will for those who sign up, is I'll take each day and I'll do a summary version of just the core piece, like the strategy, the without all of the preamble and everything. Just like, look, here's the cut down back of the envelope version. Now I'll have to sit down and do that. I'll figure out time to do that, but I'll add that as well. And it's going to be a condensed version of each of the 3 days. Like, yeah, here's your quick bite version of it. Would that be cool? Would that be beneficial to everyone who signs up? Give me a yes or a thumbs up or something like that, just to let me know if that would be if that would be valuable to you. All right, cool. Okay, well, rctjoin.com/start. Go lock in your seat if you haven't done already. All right, next question.
And then how many sessions do we have left so that people know what's coming? How many
Okay,
carpet, when tomorrow?
We're gonna do one Sunday night, which is like a closing down of everything, and I'll announce the winner of the $1,000. I'll talk about how to get access to that or how to enter that in a few moments. I'm good. So like Saturday, it's all yours. Sunday, I even forgot what fucking time it was, whether it was 11 a.m. or 8 p.m. because it was the closing call for the day. So it might be an 8 p.m. session. I honestly don't remember. I'll have to look it up. But it's more like, hey, look, we're about to shut everything down. There's no training. It's just we're going to have some fun. We'll announce the winner. We'll have a celebration about the whole week, any wins and everything else. It's just going to be for fun. So there's no training and everything else. But hey, you got to be there to find. Okay, here's what I am going to say. We are going to announce the winner on that. You might want to be there live to see it. Now, if you can't be it because it's like fucking 3 o'clock in the morning or some bullshit like that, don't do that to yourself. All right. We will notify the winner. I don't want people like in the middle of fucking nowhere waiting until like 3 in the morning to find out. Hey, if you do, it's great. That's up to you. That's your personal choice. But yeah, y'all don't get crazy now. Okay. All right. So it's a complicated order. So next question. And by the way, I throw in these random things that you fucking no idea what I'm talking about. These are like inside jokes for me and Tam. Okay.
He does
We've
it to
got
mess
20
with me.
plus years of bullshit between each other that I wind her up with.
Okay, so there's a couple of simple things, but a lot of it is when we first did the mechanics of everything of how to set up the lines and how to use the tools. A lot of that was covered in day 2. So for anyone
day 2 and day 3, day 2 and day 3. That's where I got into the specifics. The initial setup an explanation of, hey, creating trading view and setting up, that was day one. That was kind of like the foundation, but then I made it easier on day two by making some stuff for you.
Yeah. Well, there's two simple ones if you want to cover them real quick. One, I think a couple of people got confused at the width of the red and green box, whether it had any effect on anything and how long the white lines were, whether they affected anything. And they don't really. How wide you draw them. How high you draw them, yes, but how wide, it's just for your own marker, right?
Yeah, it's just for simple navigation. So if I open up, minimize that, pull up the Trendflow demo. It's just so I've got a quick and easy visual cue. So I know the thickest line is 200, the medium line is 50, and the thinnest line is 20. So I can just quickly see, just quick, boom, 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 and I get a good idea of what the chart's doing. Now, I know the 200 moves slower. I know the 50 is medium speed and the 20 is fastest. So I can very quickly visually see each one. Now, if I don't have them colored, which is one of the things we have with default mode, I know the orange line, the yellow line, and the white line. And that's something I've done for years. It's that combination. I've used it in master classes and demonstrated. It just keeps things consistent for me. But yeah, the thickness is just so very quickly, if they're all colored, I can see which one's which very clearly. It's just to help, break things apart.
Yeah, and mostly it's like the little tool, the red and green tool, where you do the 2-to-1 ratio or 1-to-5, 1-to-3. That the height sets things, but the width, people were thinking that was a time frame or the length of your white.
I get. Yeah, well, it's just basically time to be right. So if I took this one and I got a dip or what have you, it's all right. Well, this one's taken off. The height is my take profit. That's where my target is, and the width is, well, where am I right now? I usually, if I'm doing it, well, I might put it a few bars out just to see, okay, and then that's a block of time. But if it takes longer, well, I'm going to move it out to like where we are right now, and then I'll adjust accordingly. And then if I have to adjust my targets or what have you, so it's just the time and place for the trade. And then if I'm in and out very quickly, like down here, then I know, okay, that's if I let me see, fucking Mac mouse, right? Sorry.
I'm sorry.
If I'm in the top right corner, or I'm close to the top right corner, then I'm quite likely going to extend my target, but then I'm also going to give myself some more time to go there until I get to a point where, all right, it's not quite hit target, but where it does, or if it's approaching it, I'll then decide, well, I'm going to expand that target some more for whatever it is, like, say 2-to-1 in, as a reference. And I'm trying to do this with the trackpad rather than this bloody Mac mouse. And then I'm going to say, okay, well, I'm approaching that now, and okay, maybe I'll extend it some more. So basically, you can use this to see, project into the future, and then, am I going to hit target? Am I getting close to target? And then you just adjust it as you've got a live trade until you're like, okay, time out, I'll take my money, and off I go.
Okay. The other thing was, how do you set up an alert real quick? Just show them how to set an alert. Or go back.
So if I have, say, I've got a trade, I've got a target here of, say, 2-to-1. Now, if I want to get an alert of where that is, I can just set a trend line. Easiest way, set a line at my target, wherever that is, right click on that, add an alert, crossing up on this, once per bar close, set a notice. And someone's asking about how you get it to do some cool shit. Well, you can get notification in the app if you have the app, the mobile app. So I get a notification on my phone. Show a toast notification, which is like up here in the corner. Send an email, and it'll send it to the email in your profile. Now, what I do is, again, not going too nerdy, in my email, which is Gmail, I can set an alert, So if an email comes in from TradingView and it's an alert, and I might use some filter, I'll put it in a special folder. If anything goes into that folder, it's immediate priority. I get priority notifications. There's all sorts of little things you can do like that. You can play a sound. You can set a plain text that goes to your phone, like an SMS. There's a lot of different things you can do. But anyway, once you've done all that, you've decided how you want to get noticed, click create, and then it goes into a little basket over here with all your other alerts. And I have so many in here, plus some stuff that I can't show you because it's internal and private. But yeah, that's basically how you do it.
Okay. Did you have a cheat sheet that you linked earlier? They were just
Yes.
asking for that link again. I don't have
Yeah.
it, so.
And this I just wrote up before we went live
Okay.
to help everyone. So I'll put that back in there as
There
well.
you go.
All right, cool. Next question.
Let's see here. Okay, this is an interesting one too. Could you explain the difference between the AI used in the Rebel Crypto Trader and Alice?
No, because it's proprietary. Okay, so how do I answer this without answering it? Okay, so a lot of the principles that go into Rebel Crypto Trader are there's, like I said, multiple strategies. What I do with Alice is it tries to adapt to the environment, and based on the parameters and your specific requirements, we'll try and optimize based on that particular configuration. So we have a lot of machine learning that looks back at trades, old trades, new trades, future trades, the environment, and it tries to create an adaptable clustering. Now, a lot of you might have heard me talk about clusters. Okay, so that's a lot of the principles of what I work on is cluster dynamics. So if I give you an example, okay, I'm also trying to keep this as non-geeky as possible, which is almost impossible for Sean to do. So I'll give you an example of, it's looking at these clusters, okay, which are points of interest, points of at a certain event happening. And then what it tries to do is look at the relevancy, how often these events have occurred, and then it tries to create an adaptable environment and trade environment based on your parameters. So yeah, Alice is it's a trade automation, but again, it's taking what I do as machine learning on one side, and then it adapts that to your specific, for example, account limits, risk profiles, yada, 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 all the stuff that we try and do. And then it, again, creates those automated trades based on that. But a lot of, it takes a layer of, it's basically trying to automate me. Okay, in terms of that. Now, trying to clone me is one of the hardest goddamn things you'll ever try and do. They say, hey, they broke the mold. They didn't just break the mold, they smashed it into dust and shipped it to the four corners of the universe to make sure it never gets reassembled. Trying to then clone that in AI is tricky. Let's just leave it at that, which is one of the reasons it takes so damn long. But yeah, so cloning me, that's basically what Alice is doing. How would Sean trade it based on that environment? And trying to get that to operate works, we're fine tuning it, obviously. All right. So any other questions real quick?
Real quickie, this is a simple one. And like we said, go back to day 2 and 3 for mechanics, and you're going to upload the TradingView kind of overall training in depth on that.
Yeah,
but
yeah, TradingView Masterclass. I've got it in Vimeo somewhere. I'll try and find it, download it, and put it up into the group.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and post the top 20 cryptos and the trend flow indicator, because someone was asking, how do I get that and load it?
That's in the resources. Again, guys, a lot of stuff is in the Facebook featured tab, resources. We've listed everything and linked everything there.
So I'm gonna put resources in there in just a second. But those were the two indicators. Those are the indicators you need to download and put in, and you can see it in day 2 and day 3.
Yeah. Now, Cecilia, you asked, when I move the white line or move my target, do I move my stop? No, no. I give my trade time to be right, but I don't do trailing stops. No need to. So a quick answer to that one as well.
Okay. Let's see.
Terry's asking, are trading profits taxable? Depending on the country you're in and everything else, but generally, yes. Does TradingView keep track of that information? No, your exchange does. And if they're regulated and able to be used in the US, most exchanges do have, they file a 1099 miscellaneous and report that to the IRS. Okay. Because why? Uncle Sam wants his fucking slice. Now, there are tools out there like Coinly and a few others that will analyze and can connect to your broker and do all your tax reporting. Again, not financial advice, yada, yada, yada. There are ways to do this privately in your own private wallet, which again is more swaps, private, anonymous, decentralized, and again, do not report. However, legally, I have to say, do pay your taxes and what is due and yada, yada, yada. All right, not financial advice, but one thing I do like about crypto is you can be public, you can be private, you can be decentralized, you can be disconnected from the existing systems at your discretion with the tools available. I'm not going to go into that in this masterclass in any depth, because do your own research, not financial advice, and certainly not advocating for anything. However, read into that what you will. There are methodologies for keeping your information your fucking business. And then everything else is done. We'll talk about that anymore. All right, next question.
Let's see. One of the things was the offer on Alice. I think you already covered when the offer for Alice. It's not going to be tomorrow or later.
It's going to be tomorrow, to be determined. Again, I've said it, so I will know who has access because I can timestamp it, and then when it's time to open up beta or public access or do an internal promotion. Honestly, it's probably going to be months away because as you can imagine, there's a lot of moving parts with this. I've got a team of 30 people working on this right now at considerable motherfucking expense and time, and we're going through very stringent testing, beta testing, and all that other good stuff. I will do a pool for beta testers, and from that, I will also take, when we're ready to open it up, well, good to go. All right. Is Alice only for US people? No, it's for everyone around the world. I have no restrictions. We are integrating, just in terms of brokers, for the stock side, Tasty Trade, TradeStation. We're looking at interactive brokers as well. And then from the crypto side, Binance, KuCoin, we're looking at Kraken, but we've got to find people who have a API we can connect to. We're looking at Alpaca, which is a pretty cool one as well. But yeah, we got to consider which ones are available inside the US as well, and we'll try and add some of those. Okay.
Next question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we're going to answer Renee's. You do know you can get a wireless mouse for a Mac.
This is the magic, they call it the Magic Mouse.
I hate that mouse.
And it is wireless. Okay, stupid fucking design. They put the charger on the bottom. You have to stick it in the bottom, and it sits up at a weird angle for it. It has no right or left mouse button, although it's had the scrolling in the middle is fucking retarded. It's like they made this. Steve Jobs started not only rolling in his grave, he was doing fucking backflips.
Should have never asked that question. I had to. Okay, you want one more?
Yeah, give me a legitimate question.
A legitimate question. Okay. We'll see if you like this one. Can you show us how to calculate targeted profit and realized profit on a Google Doc? You know, the calculator from like a high dollar one, like Bitcoin, big numbers.
Okay, so let's go to the trade calculator. All right, and let me find the bastard. All right, so if I had and decided to make this $1 million, okay, and I'm doing 5%. By the way, 5% is very aggressive. People are asking me about this. What trading percentage should they do? I suggest when you first start with crypto, you can do $10. Okay, start $10. When you're getting up to scale, 0.5%, 1%, that's good starting point. My risk tolerance is considerably higher. I've been doing this a long motherfucking time. I would suggest that you start with 1%, and as you get more comfortable, you can turn up the dial, but don't do more than 5%. Okay. There are trades where I will go significantly higher when all the stars align, you know, and there's a perfect freaking trade set up and all that. I can go higher. I can go 10, even 20%. High risk move, and when it goes wrong, that's a significant kick in the bollocks. So start small. Okay. Anyway, so say for example, I'm looking at say XRP. Okay, I wanted to place a new trade, so that's trading at. Let's see. I have to zoom things out the window. So that's currently trading at 0.4611. Okay, so if I wanted to trade $5,000 of that, I can come down here and say, okay, what is the price of that? 0.46. Now, if you're a genius or a math genius, you can go, you know, ballpark it. I know it's about $110,000 or 110,000 units. Okay, just mark one eyeball. But that will give you the exact quantity. Okay, 108,695. So if I go in here and I connect it up to say trading panel, there you go, connect it up to paper trading, and I wanted to buy X. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in, remove drawings here. All right, so say, for example, this had confirmed. I know it's at this price. So I take my long tool here. I'll move the stop to the previous low, which I'm looking at right here. Set the target at 1.5 risk reward ratio, which is there. And I've got my numbers here, 0.4718, there. So, but I need to know how much to buy. So I can click on that. And if I wanted to, if I I could do it right here, percent risk, 5% with a take profit, boom, 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 of 0.4. .4718, and then the stop loss of 0.4553. Yeah, so it's a 1.1, and if I'm ready, I can buy that. And now it's telling me, because I'm doing a spread, if I wasn't doing a spread and I wanted to risk 5%, it would just say, hey, 108, roughly 108,000 units. But because I'm doing a spread, you can see I'm buying 700,000. Now, here's the thing. When you see this, don't freak out, because what happens is you're buying and selling at a certain point. Okay, you're creating a spread. So your risk, if I create this, you'll see what happens is I'm actually risking 400 because of the calculations and changes and fluctuations, I'm risking $4,631. But if I move this Zoom bloody thing out of the way, if I'm right, I get 1.5 times that, 6,900. So this is why you create a spread. You're risking this to make this. Now, if, like I said, you create a longer target, well, guess what? You can move your target up and say, okay, I want, that's about a 3x. Yeah, if I think about that, 4 to 3, okay, so a little more, okay. Not far off, but let's cancel that. Let's move it up just a little more. And I would have a line on the chart, but let's just say, yeah, there. I modify that. It sets my target further away. And now I'm risking $4,600 to make about $13,000. That's a 3-to-1 risk ratio, roughly. All right, good, groovy, that's it. So when you create a spread, the exchanges allow you to buy perceivably a big amount, but they know the value of the spread. And all you're risking is in this case, 5K. It could be $50, doesn't matter. But yeah, there you go. Anyway, next question.
Okay, Brenda was asking, can you please show us the
if that
formula?
was a bearish one real quick. Oh. Sorry, guys. Fuck off. Right. Sorry, go ahead, ask that again.
Oh, she was saying, can you please show us the formula on the Google Doc for target profit and realized profit, what the actual formula is?
Oh, I'm so okay. Target profit. Okay, so say for example, I just created these. Okay, so my target profit, say on that one I just created, would be say 13,000. That's my target profit, whatever it was. Okay, so I enter that in there, and then yeah, there's no in there. You put in the amount that you want or that you're expecting based on your trade. So when I go and look at say this, I know it's 13,631. That's my target profit. What's my realized profit is when the trade's closed and it's taken out the fees and everything else. Yeah, there's no formula there. You put in what you got out. When you close the trade, what was it? Now, if you're paper trading, well, and if you hit target, it's going to be the same as your target profit because you're paper trading. When you're real trading, you're doing that. You're going to get some fees removed. You're going to get all this. What's your actual profit when that closed? Okay, so your target profit was 1. What's your actual realized profit is when you close the trade with your exchange, what did you actually get? That way you can then keep track of everything. So yeah, there's no formulas in there. It's actual, okay, what's your target profit when you're doing it? And then what did you actually get when you close the trade?
Mark had an interesting question too. He asked, do you ever track Bitcoin to see if it's going to do something unmentionable? He used some expletives there, with regard to it affecting other coins that you're interested in. Okay,
so that's a good question. Bitcoin is either the rising tide that lifts all boats or the albatross around the neck of crypto. There used to be a lot of correlation between the S&P 500 and Bitcoin, and then filtered down to other coins. So I use, one of the cryptos that we talk about, it's in the list, is Total. Now, Total is the entire market of crypto, all crypto bundled into one basket. This is it. So for me, this is a measure of the market. However, if I go to a 4-hour chart and reset that, let me just get this out of the way, and then I'll show you that one, and then just keep that in your head, and then I'll show you Bitcoin. Bitcoin makes up so much of the market. It's over, it was about half to 2/3 at one stage. It's varied a lot and different coins have come up. But the difference between that and that is almost negligible. So you can use Bitcoin as a measurement of the entire market. Or if you look at total, which is all cryptos put together, they look very similar. But the crypto market's worth about $2 trillion. Not long ago, just in mid-June, it was 2.5 trillion. So the recent bearish move, like I said, we're in a bearish market right now, overall on a 4-hour. But right now, yeah, you can use it as a measuring stick. So yeah, if I see that on the time frame total is in a bearish move, then I'm expecting it bearish until this goes blue and then starts turning green. You can use this as a measuring stick for the entire market or Bitcoin as a proxy.
I'm just laughing at Mark. I was navigating that very well. You have taught me how to cuss like a sailor. I just don't do it on live things. That's Sean's thing.
Yeah, that's my job.
Question. Are you ready for another one?
Yeah, fire.
Okay. Where did it go? Oh, will the exchange automatically assume a spread once a stop target is set?
Most exchanges do allow you to set a take profit and a stop. If they don't, find one that does.
Okay. Let me see if I can find another one.
And you, by the way, you can do a quick Google search. Can I do take profit and stop loss on insert exchange name here? You'll very quickly find out whether you can or cannot. Yeah, for example, Binance does, KuCoin does, Kraken does, Coinbase does. Yeah, all the leading ones do.
Okay.
They wouldn't be in business if they did, put it that way.
Okay. Let me see the last one. Yeah, so with what you've taught them, we don't need to watch the news, Fed, FOMC. No.
Yeah, you don't need to watch presidential debates, NATO news conferences, press conferences, or any other shit that makes you go, what the fuck did I just watch? Yeah, none of that. Yeah, Fed meetings, FOMC, non-farm payrolls, any of the other events and financial events. First of all, it doesn't really affect crypto. Crypto basically goes like this to all of that. But when there are things like, post-halving events, crypto ETFs, those can be bullish. There is news that can be bullish, but guess what? Generally, with the speed of information, it's already baked into the numbers anyway. And that means basically the news is the last to know anything. The real story is in the data you see on these charts. You want to know what's going on and the sentiment, because crypto is a very herd mentality asset, which means it tends to go with what people are feeling. Now, the analogy I use is we don't per se want to be the herd. We want to be the lions sat on the rocks watching the herd go down to the watering hole and getting ready for a big juicy motherfucking steak. Okay, that's our goal. We want to be the hunters in this. We want to watch where the herd is going and profit accordingly. Okay, so here's the thing. Most crypto traders, and I say this with love and affection, have no idea what they're doing. Okay, they're going with the herd. They're going with the wildebeest, not realizing that there's lions around who actually know what they're doing, saying, ha, there's a position, there's a move, and let's make some money. That's what we are. We're rebels, okay? The herd is going with, like I said, it's the crowd. It's crowd dynamics. They're going with the crowd. We're rebels, okay? What we're looking for is setups, opportunities, and taking advantage of those opportunities, walking away with the cash, and then come back and do it again. Because I don't know about you, I like steak. Medium rare, juicy, screaming, whatever. If it's on my plate, I'm eating it. All right. Anyway, moving on before I offend.
This is a combo question because that was Aaron's question before. So moving on from that one, a combo. Where did it go?
2 for Tuesday. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Oh, does what you've taught us take into account market manipulation from whales? And to clarify, we are trading on spot. Can we trade on perpetual? And why do you not use limited leverage? That's a triple whammy for you.
All right, triple query. Here's the thing. Whales come in, they can drop big money and everything else. But here's the thing. A lot of whale activity, what's talked about as manipulation, we're talking billions of dollars. Okay, billions and billions of dollars traded every day. If a whale comes in and drops in $100 million, it might show up as a block order, but it's still a blip in the bloody ocean. Bitcoin and these big coins are so fucking big that it really doesn't create much of a ripple. If they're on the smaller cap coins, yeah, they could move the market. But guess what? There's usually signs of activity first, AKA machine learning, chart reading. The ones who get caught with their pants down are the ones not paying attention and dropping the soap in the shower, okay? Just asking for trouble. We're paying attention. We can see the moves. We can see the market because whales act, or any market manipulation acts, usually in line with the direction already going, and it can accelerate a move or it can halt an existing move. But usually there's good signs beforehand that something is going on. So again, you'll see that where there's a big sudden drop. Well, guess what? If there was a big sudden drop like this shit here, and everything turned around, and if you look in here where it actually did transition, okay, and you can see in one bar. Now, if I was in here trading this, I'd be in nice profit. Then it dropped away. Usually what happens is people selling off and dropping out. Okay, fine. Then it went sideways, and then it tried to pop up a little bit and then dropped like a stone in 4 hours. Okay, this is a 4-hour chart. Well, guess what? If I'm in there and I get in here, but I got out here because, hey, that tripped over, I've lost a little bit. While everyone else is like, oh, I'll hold on, I'll hold on to the rail here. I'm not going to pick up the soap, but all the time, boom, everything drops because they're bag holders and they end up on the wrong side of it. We're already out. We're all, oh, that change of move. All right, time to get out and do something else. And even if we waited until the blue undecided zone, guess what? It's about the same level. So even if you gave it a chance, boom, it moved to a transitioning period, boom, timeout, hey, it's blue, nothing to do, get out. Done. So again, a lot of this protects, well, you keep the analogy going, protect your ass, all right? Done. Okay, I will leave that analogy. We will not go any further.
You want another question?
Please, rapidly get me away from this conversation. All right.
Okay, I have a combo for you. These are two people's questions.
Richard, there was actually more to that other question.
Yeah, you want to finish that first? Okay.
What was the other part of the question?
It was clarify, we are trading on spot. That was a question. Can we trade on perpetual?
I do trade on spot. I do trade on futures. Would you like a little secret? Would you like to know how you can make money even when the markets are going down without doing anything crazy? I'm going to show you. Now, this isn't available to everyone. This is using futures, but it's only available on exchanges like Binance and KuCoin. So if you're in the United States and you don't have access to a platform that does this, can't fucking help you. But let me show you this. Let me do a 30-minute, and I'll do, let me see here. KuCoin, okay. Let me do example BTC USD 3 short. So I'm looking for 3S. This is the inverted Bitcoin. So what this is it's 3x short, and it's its own composite futures, but basically it's the mirror image of what Bitcoin is doing. So when we had that big dip, well, the value of the inverse goes up. Oh, and yes, the Rebel Crypto tool works on this too. So if you see that, hey, crypto's going down and everything else, guess where Sean is? There's about all of the top 10 cryptos I gave you on KuCoin, and Binance has this too, but I do this primarily on KuCoin. I don't really pay attention to a lot of other platforms, but KuCoin has an inverted futures version of this. So if the markets go down, Sean's over here going long on this one because it's the flip of it. So when Bitcoin's going down, this one's going up. And I can find entry points like here here, here. So that's why I say, it doesn't matter if the market's going up, down, or sideways, there's ways to make money. I can't remember the name of the guy who does this on TikTok with the, kind of stating the obvious. He just goes, okay, same thing. All right, next question.
Oh, I don't know his name. I know who you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, he's a really funny dude. He's just very straight face, just like,
I think on Airbnb, they actually they're doing experiences now. And I think they actually have him where you can actually go wherever he's pointing. There's an Airbnb experience based on this guy now. Okay, so a combo question. This is from, where'd he go? Richard.
By the way, if you're still on the fence, hopefully you're getting a little deeper insight. Go to rctjoin.com/start. I'm not doing my job if I don't say, hey, go do that. All right. Anyway, next.
Okay. So this is a combo question because we've had it a couple of times. How many brokers do we sign up with? And do you recommend making trades straight from the TradingView chart? And there's a kind of the same type of question from Tracy, who says, so you check charts to scan and trade on the TradingView app, or incorporate your laptop to scan and place in buckets? So it's about, do you go through TradingView to place your trades, kind of?
Okay, you got to see what trade. Okay, I only have multiple platforms because I can. And when I was in the US, I couldn't trade on Binance and KuCoin. I had to trade on Kraken. I got banned for buying something with crypto, with Coinbase, so they can go fuck themselves. I didn't use Binance.us, so I just used Kraken because that was available to me, and Binance US wasn't available in Texas at that time. When I moved here and into Thailand, then yeah, I could use Binance and KuCoin. So that's why I have multiples. And plus, I'm using those APIs for testing purposes and all sorts of other stuff I do. All sorts of trading automation and stuff that, again, beyond what we're doing here. Now, some do connect directly to TradingView, which is great, fandabidozy. A lot don't. So what I do is I have TradingView to do my analysis, do all my calculations, and I use it purely as a charting platform. When it gives me an opportunity to trade, then I open up the mobile app for the exchange I'm using and where I want to go trade, press a couple of buttons because I'm the button pusher in that regard, and then I'm done. And that's it, walk away. So it's a two-step process. Get your alert, get your analysis, then go over to your platform, whichever one you're using, on your laptop, on your phone. Like I said, I installed it on my phone primarily because wherever I am, I've got flexibility. And then that's it. So yeah, I do focus a lot on doing it on the phone. I'm doing it on a laptop and everything else here because we don't want to do the entire masterclass looking on my phone. So yeah, that's it. It's entirely up to you.
Okay, let's see. There's a question here before we get on to the next question. Someone was asking, I live in Mexico and use Bybit, BYBit. Would that work? Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. Any platform worth its salt in the crypto industry has at least the top 10 or the top 20 cryptos that we talked about, because they're the most liquid, they're the most available and viable for pretty much every exchange. So yeah, no problem at all.
Okay. The question is the main difference between what we just learned in the masterclass and what's in the course, that masterclass is, and what's in the course more manual? Like what we learned here in the beginning was all the foundations and it was more manual. Is it more automated in the full course?
No, it's not automated. Like I said, you're the button pusher. You're the arbiter. You need to make a visual confirmation about any setup and decide how you're going to act on it. Okay, so here's the thing. You are responsible for your own money. You're responsible for your own actions. And the whole point of this is to give you the skill to make the educated and smart decisions. So there's a lot of analysis. That what I gave you in the main program is the foundation of everything I do. It's the foundation, what I do with stocks, what I do with options, what I do with crypto. It's actually also a good part of it is what I do with microcap crypto. It's all based on this formula I've given you. There's different nuances for the different assets. If you want to be aggressive, you're going to approach it in a different way. Don't want to automate that, with all this. Alice is doing that. Yes, I finally gave in and decided, okay, I want to make it more automated and clone me, but that's part of the process. But for what we're doing here, you really need to be visual confirmation, decide how you're going to act on that. You then decide how much budget you want to allocate to your trade and where you are. If you've got too many trades open, there's a couple of decisions you have to go through. Ultimately, you are the button pusher. It's, I would say, mostly automated because it's an algorithm. It just requires the human component to do the check boxes. If this, then that. If this, then trade. Done. Okay. Yeah. So it removes a lot of the emotion, discretion, the guesswork, which is very fucking important. But it's a checkbox system. And if it is, and as we said before, the trade sets up, the trade goes on, off you go, press the button. So basically, you are the decision maker going through your checklist or the checklist of the strategy, but your own checklist of how you want to execute it. Once you do that, yeah, so it's mostly automated. You've just got to press the buttons to confirm it.
Okay. Where did it go?
Right. Now, I'll do two more.
Okay.
Because we're past the hour and I do need to get up early for the track. So I'll do a couple more questions and then we'll do the how to enter the prize.
Okay. 2 questions and then I have a question for you. One is really simple.
That's not 2 questions. That's a sneaky fucking counting.
I get a freebie.
Algorithm. Okay.
Okay. This is a simple one. Once you place a trade on TradingView, do you need to leave your computer running, or would your trade run as if you logged out and switched off? No, you don't need to do that.
Yeah, no, you close your laptop, you're good to go. It's automatic.
Yeah. And the tail end of that was, do I need to run this on a VPS? I assume that's VPN. No.
VPN, no.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Okay. And then a couple of people are asking, we always get this question is, can you suggest a broker? But there's a reason why we don't.
Yeah. Again, it's not financial advice. I don't have any, I'm broker agnostic, so I can't give financial advice. However, I would say, look at the biggest ones available to you are probably a better bet. If you could do Binance or KuCoin in your country, then here, those are great options. If you're in the US and you've got limited, I would say more limited options, then any of the big ones like Coinbase, Binance US, Kraken, they're all good brokers and they're all basically cost the same. The main thing I would say is look at how big a user base they have. That's a good sign that they've got their shit together. Okay.
Was that 2? Or was that 1? That was 1. No, we did big brokers. Okay, so that was 2.
Okay.
Guess the last one is my question. What's in a Vespa?
Okay. So that's a James. I got allocated a 007 as my number on the track today. So a Vespa is basically a dry martini. 2 measures of Gordon's, gin, vodka, Killer Lillet, and then shaken. The old phrase, shaken not stirred. Then a generous thick twist of lemon, and that you're basically vodka martini. Dry, but yeah, it actually comes from the 1954 book Casino Royale. That's where Ian Fleming first wrote about it. I'm a bit of a James Bond nerd, so that's why I was laughing when I got allocated 007 as my number. But yeah, it's basically the drink he called for Vesper Lynd, who was his love interest in the original book Casino Royale. Daniel Craig did do that book and that story justice, and they actually did show the creation of the Vesper Lynd drink in that movie. So yeah, but actually, it's actually a bloody good drink as well. I do like a good dry martini.
I can't believe they actually assigned you 007. That was fantastic.
Oh, I was laughing my ass off. Yeah. So basically, when you come to the track, just a backstory. So when you come to a track, you've got to register and everything else, and because they put transponders on your bikes to see your lap times, and they give you a number to put on your helmet and that to identify you. And mine was 007, and I'm like,
I'll take that.
Someone might pull my fucking. So yeah, 007, British. All right, yeah, I'm a huge Bond nerd as well, in fact. So I thought that was absolutely classic. So yeah, that was a good one.
Okay,
Anyway,
last thing,
yeah, go ahead.
really last thing. Aaron popped off with the James Bond Casino Royale in the text before you said it. So I'm going to request that we give out a $50 prize for that.
Yeah, why not? That's all right. Just get a PayPal. Well done on that. And yeah, if you know what the Vesper is, the dry martini, yeah, good on you. That's every time. Okay, if I go to a bar and I ask for that, they always look at me like I'm on crack. They're like, I don't know what a Vesper dry martini, but do you have any Killer Lillet or Killer, the Lillet Blanc or anything else? And they're looking at me like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, oh fuck me.
I had to do it because he was fast.
Move
He
out the
was
way.
gonna trigger.
Show you.
Okay, so there's no red carpet after, right?
No red carpet because that was for the main 3 sessions.
Okay.
And then and Sean needs his lots of beauty sleep. But I think we'll put a time out on the questions and everything else. But I will show you how to join the well, basically I need your feedback. So I've got a little form. This is how you're going to enter to win a chance at $1,000 which allowance on Sunday. So rather than a fancy link, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this one. And all you do is come in here, tell me what you think of the program, and then there's a section at the bottom with all the codes. There should be 5, but there's not actually a code for today. So it's actually only 4 because I fucked up and forgot to add the 5th one in here. So, and I'm going to give you this link. So let me do that. And then basically this just helps me figure out what was good, what was bad, what was ugly. And then it basically helps me get feedback of how you like the masterclass, what I can do to improve it if I ever do another masterclass and everything else. So it's a very quick survey, take you a couple of minutes. But what I'll do is I'll look at all the, basically what I'll do on Sunday is I'll export all the answers, figure out who answered all the, the codes right, and then do a random, pick a winner. So yeah, we'll do that. So, all right. With that being said, like I said, we do have a few seats open. I told my team I was going to let a few more people in because we did blast right through everything. I was very, very blown away with the response and the people who've signed up and said, this is the best thing they've ever bloody done, yada, yada, yada. So what's today's code? There's no code today because there's only 4 slots on the form that I created. What's the code for day 4? Then you have to go watch day 4's replay, okay? Which I linked earlier on, but it's trendflowformula.com/session4. There's a code on the end of that. I'm not going to give it away because that's cheating. So go ahead, enter the form. Like I said, we do have some seats open. So rctjoin.com/start, and you're rocking and rolling. And that's what we're doing. So with that being said, thank you for your time and attention. Thank you for being part of this masterclass. I mean, this is officially the last session. If you join us on Sunday, great. And you know what? Just for schnitz and giggles, I'll figure out something extra for you as well on Sunday for everyone. So although we'll announce a winner, we'll make everyone a winner. I'll come up, haven't figured out what the fuck I'm going to do yet, but I'll come up with something for a little bit of fun as we put a bow on the end of this, wrap it up, and ship it by FedEx to God knows where. All right, so we're going to have some fun. I'll figure out something for everyone as a celebration of this week, because I've had a lot of fun. Although this is an endurance marathon, when I do these things, I mean, Jesus, I'm knackered. All right. I'm going to bed at like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning every night, and then I'm up at 5 a.m. I'm meant to be semi-retired, but at this stage, when I do these, I do get a lot of kicks out of this. I love sharing this stuff and basically opening up, like the doors on my brain and just like, here you go. I love giving people all the advantage I never had. And a lot of people say, oh, they blah, 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 they got a lot of talk, but I hope you really understand how much I really, truly love teaching this stuff to people who pay a fucking attention. And
Sharon
that
said something
really,
else.
Oh, let me just scroll down here. Oh, thank you. This is a life-changing experience. Well, that's the reaction I want. That's why I do this. Even if just one person from this group of hundreds takes a step forward and makes this work and changes their lives, then that's a win. Because here's the thing. Okay, I'll get all sappy for a second, but try not to. This is my legacy. This is what I leave behind. This is the impact I have on other people. Now, I've been very fortunate in my life. I really have. I mean, there's no buts about it. I worked my ass off, don't get me wrong, but the path I ended up on wasn't the path I started with. Being here doing this was not what I was expecting, but I'm here. And I'm very fortunate. It's created a fucking amazing life for me and everyone around me. And I want to pass that on. Okay. I didn't have any, I really truly didn't have anyone share that with me when I first started this journey or help me that way. But being able to take this, condense it down, simplify it, and teach it to other people has been fantastic. So I really enjoy doing these. And I do them every few months because, well, I can and I enjoy it. When I'm first doing it, I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm exhausted. By the end of it, I am exhausted. But as soon as I turn on the microphone and the camera, I love doing it. I really love doing it.
We have a
And
good time.
then and admittedly, I take 2 weeks to recover because I'm just like so freaking knackered. And when I do these launches can take like a month or 2 months to put together, and it's a lot of fucking work. So when it comes off, okay, dynamics, weird business side, but okay, so if you imagine energy levels and effort, it's like a month of real hard effort to get the launch. And then as soon as the doors open on the launch, there's nothing to do. You're sat there waiting. I'm watching, okay, how's the sales, everything else, and there's fuck all to do. Because we've got this down to a science. It's a very smooth process. And then the doors close on that, and then the next day you start up the masterclass, and then all that effort goes back up through the roof because you're doing the prep work for that in the masterclass. But yeah, it's a mental marathon. So at the end of all this, Sean basically collapses into bed and stays there for a week because it is a mental endurance marathon. So this is why I was like, oh shit, I'm going to be in the mountains doing the motorbike, and I'm going to be on the track for 2 days, which is an endurance effort in itself. So yeah, and I'm 49 years old. So I'm just like, I'm not 20-year-old anymore. All right. So, but hey, you know what? At the end of it, it does fire me up. I do enjoy doing this, and I really enjoy teaching you guys this. So I really trust, whether you've joined the program or not, that you've got a lot out of this week, and that you take this skill. And even if you don't join the program, that's cool. I trust that you take this further, you practice, you do this, you apply this, because I know the impact it can have on your life. And if you want helping hand, if you want guidance and everything else, you know what to do. Go join up and let me help you. Give you all the tools, give you all the advantages and everything else. But one way or the other, I really do hope that you continue this, you do this, you apply it, and you make it work. So on that note, again, yeah, it's got microcap on the survey. Ignore that. I forgot to, basically I've been so knackered, I forgot to go change that. But yeah, it's the same survey I do for, I just changed the name because it's the same questions I do for other masterclasses. But I always know, so you're all good.
Someone's calling you a pup and you're still a baby at 49. I can tell
Lovingly,
you that.
kiss my ass. But I appreciate that. It's very kind. Thank you very much. It's
Say
funny.
goodnight, Gracie.
Yeah, there you go. It's funny because, I've got a lot of young pups around me who are like in their 20s and 30s, and I'm still learning this skill, I'm fast, but I'm not as fast as some of these kids. Like fucking, I'm leaning into a corner and these kids are coming inside me on the inside at a lower angle. I just want to reach over and smack them on the back of the bloody helmet. I'm like, respect your elders, asshole. But But then I've got last weekend. I had a guy. Now this dude's funny. Andre, if you're here, I don't think you are, but if you ever watch this video, this guy's in his 70s. Okay, skinny Welsh guy. He's in his 70s. I thought I was fucking crazy. This guy is mental fast. I got a reputation last weekend for being a fast rider because I was on a rocket and it's a fucking rocket. And this guy was on a smaller bike. Hey, just fucking on the inside of me, and he's fucking crazy. The guy's in his 70s. So I'm like, oh, respect. Okay, I've got a long way to go yet. So yeah. So age is just a number. If you know, inside my head, I'm still 18 years old. My body says, fuck you. So it's the way it is.
We're older and we have more insurance.
Older, more insurance, but I don't bounce like I used to. So
No.
I'm a little more conscious. All right. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go get some sleep. Thank you very much for your time and attention. As always, last call, go to rctjoin.com/start. Let's get you started, quite literally. With that being said, thank you. Good night. Adios.
Good night.
Now I've got to find the button to get out of here. There we go. Okay. I actually found it today. Yay!